Do you have a trip to Walt Disney World this August or September? We've got one word for you, hot. But don't sweat it, literally. We're here with some must-know tips to help you beat the heat while still making the most of your magical days in the parks. From weaving in the cool and cold snack secrets to must-pack cooling gear and smart midday breaks, we're spilling everything we've learned as Disney fans and trip planners. So grab your neck fan and your Mickey ears. We're about to make your trip cooler in every way. So, hello and welcome back to Finding Your Disney. So glad you could tune in. I'm Rachel, and here we are again with two of my favorite people to talk Disney, Roxanne and Sandy.
Hi.
Hey, folks.
I don't know how the weather's been where you are, but for me, here in the mid-Atlantic portion of the United States, it has been hot and humid for most of the summer. And we all know Florida's hot in the summer, but if you have a trip to Disney World in August or September coming up, one word, it's been hot. So, but don't sweat it. Tonight, the three of us are going to give you our tips for beating the heat in Florida while you enjoy the parks. So welcome to the show. So I'm sure you've been, Sandy and Roxanne, to Florida in the summer months.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, every August. We're glutton for punishment.
But it's when a lot of our children have been out of school. So that's when we've had to vacation instead of taking them out of school. So
Yep.
I just thought it'd be a good topic to share some tips
Great
on
topic.
how people can beat the heat, I guess you can say, as much as you can. So
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
I can start off with one of mine if you want, or
Sure. What's your favorite way to beat the heat when you're at Walt Disney World for the Florida heat? Mind you, it does get pretty warm out in California too sometimes. It depends on like how the airflow's going and stuff.
Yep.
We've been there where we've been melting too. So we can venture to offer some of those tips and tricks for the West Coast as well.
Yep. So for at least I've been most of the time I've been to Florida, and what we will have done is we will start early in the morning. We'll do an entry, early entry, because we'll be staying on property, and then we always went back in the middle of the day, and we either
Midday
went to the
breaks
pool,
are the best.
pool, or just hung out in the room, or if it was littles, they were taking a nap. Let them refresh and recharge, and then go back at night. So that's what we enjoy doing.
Absolutely. My favorite was when we would go back to like the midday break in the middle of the day when the kids were little, and you would get like one of them that would kind of like crawl up to you to kind of snuggle after having been at the pool, and you would both kind of like take a little short cat nap by the pool underneath the towel, like great memories of that for sure. But the midday break was always an essential in our family, and we do it even during the winter months too. It's not something that's unusual for us to do, just to go and maybe have a little bit of a swim when the weather is if it's too hot, then it's great because you get to cool off in the pool. But when it's a little bit cooler in the mornings and the evening, it's kind of the ideal time of the day to go and take a swim when the weather's a bit cooler, right? Because it's warmer in the middle of the day. So regardless as to what the season is, that midday break is essential, and I highly recommend it for everybody to look into and to see if they can integrate that into their touring for the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. A little siesta like you live in Spain or something.
There you go.
So Roxanne, what's one of your favorite park tips for beating the heat or getting out of the heat?
Yeah, so we used to do the midday, go back to the hotel when our kids were little for sure. And when they're older, like our kids are older now, they like to stay all day. And we tend to do like instead of a quick service lunch, we'll do like a sit down. So we might take like an hour and a half and
great suggestion.
Book like a really nice lunch. It's air conditioned. You're sitting there, you're taking your time. You're drinking in your water, maybe having some ice cream at the end of that meal, nice cold treats, or something that would kind of cool you down, but you're really taking your time. You're not in a rush to get back out there, and that's like midday, so it could be like 1 to 2:30, right? So it's like this big part of the heat of the day, get out and get in that air conditioned restaurant and just totally
Rest your feet.
take a load off your feet. Yeah, it's going to really do that. Break's going to really energize you to keep going the rest of the day. Yeah.
What I love about doing the lunches as the bigger meal of the day versus doing the dinners as the bigger meal of the day is that the evenings then become a little bit less rushed because you're not having to like rush back to the parks necessarily to meet that dinner reservation. The other thing that I love about doing that midday break at the restaurants in the parks is that it gives you a really, really great opportunity to assess how everybody's doing, right? Because you've had that moment in time where you're no longer hangry, right? Because as we know, with littles especially, like the meltdowns come when they're hangry. Like that's when it's happening, like it or not. And when they're thirsty and they're getting a little dehydrated and maybe a little bit of sunstroke, you never know. So getting out of the heat in the park is actually a great moment where you can eat something, you can sit down, you can maybe have a character interaction, which will keep them distracted and whatnot. And you can assess at that point how your family is doing once they've eaten and then once they've gone through that meal. And I have to tell you, in our family's case, it happens more often than not that we will head back to the hotel after that even because we've had that moment to kind of like,
had enough.
Okay, let's go for a swim. You know, like I'm feeling a little schwitzy. Let's change our clothes, you know, like when we get back after the swim. So that's also like, you know, a good moment to kind of just take account of everybody and see how everybody's doing and then make an educated decision as to how your family's feeling for the rest of the afternoon or not.
And they do have later park hours in the summer anyway.
Oh,
so it's not like,
early.
you know, winter time where they're closing earlier.
Right.
So you do have that option during the summer because they do have longer park hours.
For sure.
And another, I think, perk of those mid or later afternoon meals is the restaurants usually aren't as crowded because everybody's trying to go at 11 or noon. So when you go after like 1:30, 2:30, I find you actually do get a better chance to relax. You know, it's a lot more enjoyable too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. So one of our techniques.
Yeah, Sandy, tell us.
Yeah. So I am an air conditioning seeker. Like that's my main thing when I'm in the parks in the summer. I seek out the air conditioning and I will tour the parks. And for my guests, it's the same thing. I'll build their itineraries for them to go around and be able to find that air conditioning after a couple of things here and there. So for example, Slinky Dog Dash, my books always has to be done if you're doing it rope drop first thing in the morning, because I am not waiting in that line later on in the day in the summer. It's just too hot. It's too hot any time of year, honestly. But, you know, like there's certain things like that you can kind of build into your itinerary. So I don't know about you guys, but I have my like air conditioning attractions in each one of the 4 theme parks. I'll give you like my favorite at Magic Kingdom. Do you guys have a favorite at Magic Kingdom too? Yeah.
Yes.
So my favorite Tomorrowland is Carousel of Progress. Like fabulous for air. Those chairs are comfortable. You know, like the show is really endearing. That little earworm song, you got to go in the rest of it. If I'm back in Fantasyland, do you guys love Mickey's PhilharMagic?
Yes, love
Absolutely, right? Like that's a great one. If we're over in Frontierland, Country Bear Jamboree, like perfect, right? Like that's awesome. And then Adventureland, actually, I find that there's 2. So the first one is obviously Enchanted Tiki Room. Go and grab your Dole Whip. We'll bring it with you into the Enchanted Tiki Room.
Good point. Dole Whip.
Enjoy the air conditioning and all the birds and the festivities going on there. But another really good one over there is actually Pirates of the Caribbean. The queue is completely covered. And then you get into like the cool dampness of the caverns and the fort and stuff. So it gets, you know, cooler as you go deeper into the attraction, which is kind of fun. So that's definitely mine for like coolness seeking. But there's other ones too, like Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. That's another great one if you're looking for air conditioning in the parks. Do you guys have other ones for Magic Kingdom that you kind of do for your air conditioning?
Tiana's Bayou. I mean, who doesn't like
getting wet? Yeah. How could I forget that one? Who doesn't like getting drenched?
Gonna get wet finally in August.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of trees right now back there until, you know, till they do their Cars Land. But right now, I mean, there's some really old trees back there that create great shade and cooling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
And then I have more in each park. Do you guys
Yep,
have specific ones? Do you have your favorites for Epcot? What are your favorites for
So
Epcot?
I love going into Living with the Land,
Mm-hmm.
into
Mhm.
that pavilion back there.
The
Yeah.
That's
pavilion.
always a lot of fun. A lot of
Yeah.
fun.
That's a good one there. If we're looking like further into World Showcase, all of the pavilions are air conditioned, so that's an easy one. You can just pop into them. I mean, like
Yeah.
there's some that
Love
are
that.
are not as like indoors, so maybe not Italy, obviously, because there's not really that much indoors. Germany as well, but definitely the Mexico Pavilion, completely air conditioned, so that's a great one. Grab
Mhm.
yourself a margarita at the same time. And then
Mhm.
if we're looking
Or
over,
see the Three Caballeros, right? You can get on the
Mhm.
little boat.
Little boat ride.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another great one for kind of like chill seeking is if you're going to do the little movies, the shorts over in the Imagination Pavilion.
Imagination.
So it's a
Yep.
great one too. Any of the movies, honestly. So in the Canada Pavilion, in the China Pavilion, in the France Pavilion, they all have like nice movies that are all air conditioned and it's relaxing and nice to get out of the heat. But my favorite probably is the American experience.
Mhm. Yeah, the
Because
America.
those chairs are comfortable, it's dark, and it's air conditioned. I will let you extrapolate from there.
Yep.
Yes. And you've got a pass holder lounge. Isn't it in Morocco?
I'm not
AP?
sure.
And you've got the
Could be,
UVC
yes.
lounge. So you've got some
Yeah.
lounges if you've got
There's a bunch
any
of them.
kind of memberships. Yep.
hmm
So there's loads of stuff like that you can go to. And then for littles, a lot of the time we don't realize that like maybe not keeping them out in the heat if you're going to be doing, let's say, like Guardians of the Galaxy, you might have a little that's too little to do Guardians of the Galaxy. Huge air conditioned area through the gift shop of Mission Space. So you go in
Okay.
through the gift shop, they've got an
Mm.
indoor play park in there and a mission
Yeah.
control. And so there's lots of stuff for the littles to do in that section. And it's a little bit darker, so it keeps them more relaxed. And so that's a great option for rider switch, especially if you're looking for something like that. So it's
And
highly.
Moana, right? Moana has a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
water. You
Yeah.
can
Mhm.
You can
go
play
in
in the
there.
water.
And I think I thought they built a new play area over near Communicore, right?
Yep. Yep. So there's lots of that, but that's more in it's not really indoors, so it's
Good
not
point.
as easy.
Yeah.
So that's a great one there. And then over at Hollywood Studios, what do you guys do for air conditioning seeking?
So, well, air conditioned seeking, I go
Oh,
into
boy.
they usually have the man in his dream where you can walk through the,
Yeah, to Hollywood Studios, that's a
yep,
great one. Yeah,
yep.
absolutely.
And then at the end, it has the
Mhm.
movie. That's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah.
That's a great
Frozen
one.
sing along is a good one. You're
All
in
the
there for
shows,
quite a while.
right?
Yeah. All the
All the
shows. Yep.
shows, other than even Indiana Jones, not spectacular. They have those giant fans in the ceiling.
hmm
Mhm.
So even that one's great. And like you'll be out of the heat while you're doing
Yeah.
that. So all of the stage shows. So between the villains, if you guys haven't seen that new villain show
Have
yet,
not
it's
seen that.
Haven't
spectacular.
seen it yet.
Really, really good.
Can't wait.
Really well done. It's fabulous. Beauty and the Beast Live on Stage has those fans that are in the ceiling of
True.
the amphitheater, which is great.
Yep. Little theater.
Indiana Jones Done Spectacular, the Frozen Sing Along, the Disney Junior Dance Party, the new Little Mermaid musical. So all of those are great for being able to all of those are great for being able to get some air conditioning along the way.
Mhm.
hmm
Air conditioned
So
sit
that's
down
a great
ride
one.
is my
Yeah.
favorite phrase in
Yeah,
August.
exactly. And then last but not least, I mean, when it does reopen with a new Zootopia theming, inside the Tree of Life will be a really great spot.
That'll
We
be
used to
fun.
do that, yeah, when it's tough to be a bug. We would always do that one for sure. And then
Mhm.
obviously the two stage shows that they've got going on. So
Finding Nemo
Finding
and
Nemo.
the Lion
Mhm.
King. Yep, that's a
Yeah,
good one.
exactly. So those are great ones to do over
Yeah.
at Animal Kingdom. Do you guys have other ones that you like to do at Animal Kingdom? Some people like riding the train over at Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Yep.
Not my favorite, but
Well, I like going
Yeah.
back in where they have the opportunity to do like drawing in that back area when you go into Planet Watch, where you can see
Yeah.
the the where they have the animals if they're doing something with the animals. That's
Agree.
neat back there. The other one I thought was neat was when you go back, not the one they do the birds in front of Trio Life, but back like the flight. Back towards I can't remember what the other ride is back there,
it's
but
called
that's
Study of
nice.
Friends in Flight. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like the bird
Mm-hmm.
spa. They do have, well, do they have fans there? I don't think they do because of the birds, but it is covered and it's
Yeah,
shaded.
it is. It's out of the sun, and they also have,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a nice way to get out of the heat. But there's a lot of
Yeah.
trees also in Animal Kingdom. Like you can go back
Right.
to Pandora. That's very well shaded. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
That's great. So yeah, those are definitely ones that we like to do while we're at Walt Disney World. Do you guys have ones that you like to do at Disneyland when you're there? Anything that jumps into mind? Mind you, Disneyland usually is pretty temperate as
Yeah.
far as its temperatures, so it's not quite as scorchingly hot. But when we were there last summer, it really was very hot. So
Mm-hmm.
we did go back to the resort every day for a midday break and a splash and a swim and stuff. And what I would do was I would throw on a dress on top of my swimsuit and I would head on over to their what is it, Big Bear Gulch or whatever it's called.
Yes.
And then just
The
ride
water
that with
ride.
my
Yeah.
swimsuit underneath, which was awesome. And
That's
pop
a good,
back into the
a good
Grand
one.
Canal to get changed. And then there's also obviously Tiana's Bayou Adventure that they've got over at Disneyland as well. So that's a great option.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One of the fun things that they have at Disneyland that's a little bit different from Walt Disney World is that, yes, of course they have the stage shows, so that's fun. But one of the fun things that's nice to do in the summer months is that you can take either the riverboat or the schooner or do the canoes on the
Mm.
rivers of America. So those
Wow.
are great
Yeah.
options. And then you can always head over to Tom Sawyer's Island too if you need a little bit of a relief from the parks and a relief from the heat. So that's a great option as well. Yeah.
Mm.
nice. Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the train. I love the train.
Now I don't have a lot of cooling essentials like things that I pack, but I've seen a number of people have those neck fans.
We do those.
Or we've used cooling towels where we'll dip them in the water.
Yep. Same.
But I've seen a lot of the neck fans lately.
Yeah. The cooling neck fans, neck towels, and the regular fans. Kids love those. And I also, if we have a room with any kind of mini fridge or large fridge, if you're staying in deluxe, some of the rooms like the Disney Vacation Club rooms do have a full-size fridge. I will put the water bottles, take a little out and freeze them, and they're literally hard as a rock. And you put 4 or 5, 6 of those bottles in your backpack, and you're putting them on your neck. You're just rubbing. Oh my God, they are so. It just cools you right down. Having like an ice. We'll even do Gatorades. We'll have Gatorade and we'll freeze those. So we'll bring those, and it takes all day for those to melt. But boy, is it nice and cold. So that is a definite tip.
I am definitely at the phase in my park touring where I have like a little fanny pack about this big. So like having a giant water bottle for me is a no-go. But what they do have available for all guests in the park for free is that you can go to any of the quick service restaurants that actually has indoor seating, and they will all have a stack of ice water cups just waiting for guests to take and to drink. So that's a great way to do it. And even if you maybe aren't the biggest fan of Florida water, know that the ones that they have there are filtered from the drink fountains.
It's imperative to stay hydrated. Yeah, that is a must. You'll feel nauseous if you don't drink a lot of water. I mean, a lot of water. Yeah.
We carry around those like
huge.
Those not so you mentioned Gatorade. We carry around like the powder sachets.
Oh, the electrolyte packets where you can just shake them and open them up.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Yep. And even lots of sunscreen, SPF in your makeup if you wear foundation, like all of that is so important. Just keep reapplying because you do not want to get a sunburn. Hat, sunglasses.
Hat.
Can't go a week without any, like multiple pairs of sunglasses we bring. So the boys wear baseball caps because it just like burns if you don't. So
and like a lot of people, like some people worry about maybe like their makeup being like runny or things like that in the heat. Honestly, find yourself a good setting spray. You can get them just at the pharmacy, even, like at the drugstore. They have really good setting sprays that you can use so that you've got your base of your sunscreen, you've got your makeup, and then you can have that setting setting spray to keep everything kind of in place and not runny. That's what I use, because often when I'm in the parks, I'm recording videos here and there, and it can be really, really, really warm. So having a good setting spray that you've tried a couple of times while at home before heading to the parks is a good way to make sure that your look stays intact.
Fashion.
Yes.
And what do you guys think about wearing ears? Is it just too hot in the summer? Or do you wear your
Oh, I
ears?
wear them.
Really?
I
Okay.
I
All
hardly
day.
so my kids will always have a hat on, and I'll insist that they have hats with them.
Yeah.
But often, Evie and I will just revert to just wearing ears, because there is so much, especially in Florida, that you're in and out of air conditioning on practically every ride. So you're not baking necessarily in the sun. It's very rare that you're waiting outdoors in a queue. It's, I'm trying to think if there's a couple of them even. Which ones are outside? Barnstormer? Maybe
In Magic Kingdom,
yeah,
that's outside.
Yeah, the Slinky Dog, obviously, which
Slinky
I
Dog
mentioned
is
already.
brutal.
That one's
Yeah.
brutal. What
Mickey's
else?
the Runaway Adventure, they have to put up the umbrellas, because there isn't always, there's a bit of that line is out in the sun.
Yep.
Yes, that's true. I never do. I always do it I'm bougie. But
But if you get tired of water, you can always use it as a, hey, I'm going to buy one of the cool Dole Whips, or other frozen drinks,
frozen
and
treats. That's a great one, right? The slushies, the blue milk, the green milk. There's so much stuff that you can
Popsicles,
do.
Mickey bars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So many frozen treats, the different types of Dole Whip. Oh my gosh, you could just do a Dole Whip tour if you wanted to. And don't even get me started on the frozen beverages over in Epcot.
Epcot, there's a ton of them as you go around the World Showcase.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Every country has their claim to fame as far as the slushie, that's for sure. So there's tons and tons of options all throughout the parks. But yeah.
I think even at Hollywood Studios, they have some frozen drinks, right?
So actually there's one
that are non-alcoholic that even children can have.
Yeah. So there is a stand right over by Hollywood and Vine, kind of tucked behind the steamboat that does what's the name? It's fleeting me right now. The snack counter. There's literally a slushy stand themed to the Rocketeer. So if you're over by Hollywood and Vine and you're kind of looking towards the Chinese theater, it's off to your right. And it does really, really good slushies. You can get them alcoholized as well if you need that, or if you would like that. So
but you can get them without if you're.
You can get them without for the kids. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
My kids love that. And then over at Animal Kingdom, I love a good rum and Coke slushie from the little stand that's over near, what is it called? Drinkwalla, I think it's called.
My husband loves the frozen lemonades. Wherever we go in any park, we seek out the frozen lemonade drinks.
Like frozen lemonade drink, or the ones that you scrape?
They have both, but there's over in Epcot, there was a drink that was based with frozen lemonade. But if you went over to the Hollywood Studios, then they had the Minute Maid frozen,
the Minute Maid,
where they're frozen, you just almost like a water ice.
Yeah. That's cool. And I do like those scraper ones.
Yep.
The ones that you can then kind of put the lid back on and come back to it in a little bit and then drink it.
Yeah,
so
it really helps.
Well. Yeah, definitely.
Rachel, any other tricks that you're not remember?
I mean, I don't know if we're there at rope drop, then we go where what is opened up at rope drop. But say you're not there at rope drop or early entry. The extra magic hours. So if you're there just at rope drop for regular park goers, you can always try to watch, look where the sun is and try to head where you're following the shade. So that's another tip that we try to do.
Yeah, I do try and program into itineraries that we create for folks that they do have enough kind of pit stops, and I really make sure that they're aware of where all of those locations with the kind of air conditioning are located throughout the parks. So that's another kind of thing to make sure that you're planning out your days, especially in the heat, and not running your family ragged from one end of the park. You want to make sure that you, more than any other time of year, really make sure that you're progressing in a logical from point A to B to C versus from point A to Z and back to P. So just so that you can mitigate the walking, keep that to a minimum, and then to also make sure that your family isn't overheating from that from overexerting themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, we always like the train, like you were saying, take the train, but since they've put up the barriers for starting some of the construction projects that they've going on. So like in Magic Kingdom now, the train's only going to run part of the park. So
Yeah.
So it won't be kind of like what I guess they did when they had Tron, right?
Yeah.
I think it was down when Tron was going on.
Yeah. So you couldn't go
Barriers,
the
yeah.
whole loop. But when that's working, it's great.
Yeah, it is.
For the Magic Kingdom park.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good. Very, very good tips, ladies.
That's good. Did we talk about clothing? Wear light clothing.
I didn't think about
nothing
clothing.
Makes me more crazy when I see people with long pants and it's August. Like, no, bring some shorts, tank tops, and lighter colors, right? So ideally, I mean, I love wearing black just as much as everybody, but it is going to kind of direct the sun on you. So white, but even like t-shirts, like sometimes if they're too thick, the thicker materials, you're just going to feel so hot in those. And
when we
try to just light clothing and just lightweight clothing because you don't want to be bogged down.
When we were in Greece on a Disney cruise this summer, one of the things that I kind of keyed in on was that I had an oversized shirt for just a very light cotton shirt. And so that became my travel buddy essentially because like none of the islands have shade. And so I would just bring along this shirt that I could easily loop through my fanny pack. And then when it was getting a little too hot on my shoulders, I would just pop it on top and it catches the wind a little bit. So that helps too. So make sure that you do, wear lightweight clothing, but that you also have something to kind of cover up from the sun when it starts to get a little bit too intense. And so that I found worked really, really well for me this summer. Almost every picture I have this shirt on because it was just so convenient, right?
But it acts like a sunscreen, right?
Yeah.
So instead of getting out the sunscreen, sometimes you can put on those long, lightweight shirts, long sleeve ones, and it acts just as much of a good SPF barrier as lathering up the sunscreen.
That's it, exactly.
Especially the swim shirts are good.
But I think you also mentioned the sun and sunglasses. I mean, it's very bright.
Crucial. Yeah, you're just squinting.
Because your eyes will get tired if you're just
you're
out
just
in
going
the
to get a
sun
headache.
squinting all the time. Yeah.
Yep, for sure. You need those. Yeah, multiple pairs, just in case.
But anytime is a great time, even if it's hot at Walt Disney World or any of the parks. It's always a great time to go. So
it's absolutely manageable.
I actually no, and and I actually enjoy the warm tropical evenings. Like up north, you have to wear a coat most evenings, and you're like, it's July. Why am I wearing a coat? But it gets into the 50s or 60s.
I don't know, Roxanne. It's not that cold up here in Canada, so I'm not quite sure why it's that cold down where you are. I'm not wearing a jacket at night, that's for sure.
I do sometimes. I bring like a light jacket, but not there. I mean, you can wear, a sundress at 10 o'clock at night and you're not going to be cold. So, I mean, it is so nice to those warm. Once that sun goes down, I actually enjoy the warmth. It feels so good not to have layers and be all buttoned up.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Well,
very nice.
Thank you so much for imparting your great tips. Hopefully that will help some people that are getting ready to head out to one of the parks like Walt Disney World or like Sandy was saying, Disneyland, where it does get a little bit on the warm side during this time of the year here.
Yeah.
But it'll help you prepare for your packing, what to pack.
Yeah. And folks, let us know in the comments if there's any topics you want us to do for future podcasts. Happy to take requests.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So again, everyone, have a magical evening. Till the next time we record.
Go find your Disney.
Yes. Finding your Disney.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.